I'm Paula Bradison. This is the most introduction I've done on any of the podcasts because this is completely impromptu. My plans went sideways today, and so I went to my favorite restaurant to be, has to remain nameless according to the owner so that I don't put his name out there. But there was a round table of people, and I said, hey, let's not cancel the podcast. Let's do it anyway. So the challenge is we don't have a script, which I never do. The topic, which you've all asked now, is 1 degree of separation in Alaska. And so at the table, we have 4 Alaskans and a token Texan.
That's me.
And she's a youngin'. So it's going to be our mentorship moment. We're going to talk about Alaska. And if you get compelled to take over the conversation, I have brought Nanana Ice Classic tickets for each one of you.
Party favors.
And so for those who are not here and listening, this is an Alaskan tradition. We love rallying around a good raffle, right?
Yes.
And so this here is the timing of the people who have won the years before. And so everybody gets to fill one of these out.
Okay.
And then, wait.
Are you thirsty?
I'm something wrong?
You okay?
So thirsty.
You're thirsty. I'm thirsty.
Me too.
Look at here. Dum da da dum. Hail. Eddie P.
Rescue as always.
Thank you for bringing us beverages.
I love you, Eddie.
Love you, Eddie P.
I love you.
Well, let's.
I mean, and we should. Well, why wouldn't we?
It's like he read our minds.
Because we're so fancy.
Among his many skills, Eddie P's now a mind reader. There you go.
With a red solo cup.
There we go.
The best.
This was for your. I don't know. I don't know if that song is Texan or not.
Which one?
Red
Solo Cup.
Red Solo Cup.
It's close enough.
I feel you. Know,
Yeah, we listen
anyway.
to it.
All right.
It counts. All right.
So today we've got a smattering of Alaskans. This is so great. The premise for the people, the number one thing I love is that today I sat at a luncheon, I got a text, and it said, my guest isn't going to make it. And I said, oh, hey, April, we were at the same luncheon. I said, I need you at 4:00. And she said, okay. And then it was 45 minutes later, and she goes, what are we doing at 4?
What are we doing?
I said, well, we're doing a podcast. She said, well, what's it about? And I said, it's, I don't know, because we're going to do it at 4:00 today.
It's kind of like Seinfeld. It's about nothing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but all the things.
So I got 2 people who are used to doing this kind of things. You're the pro. And then I also have token beauty and smart SMU grad, Texan, all things Texas to my right. And again, it's, I don't, why did you make me sit next to her?
She's in between us both. So
I know.
yeah.
So Alaskan mentorship is the topic. And to my left, our token
Male.
Who's only been given one instruction.
Okay, I'll drink
which we
to
won't
that.
repeat.
So cheers to everyone.
Really no idea why I'm here.
Because
to
you
be
were
a token.
at the place and you said yes.
That's
you
right.
said yes.
You said yes.
Yes.
And so that is the topic for today. Why do we just say yes and trust each other as Alaskans, right? So if we can start with, to my left, Miss Lisa Souter. We know each other quite well, so I would like you to start by just saying, why did you say yes, and what keeps you in Alaska?
I joke I'm kind of a repeat offender to Alaska. Was born and mostly raised here, but left, moved back, moved away, moved back, but it's home. And it's funny because Paul and I have one of the first experiences, the first time we ever met, which we nearly remember, we were, about 7 years old?
It had to be.
Yeah, and we were talking about the first concert you ever saw. And we were talking about it, and I said, Johnny Cash at West High. And she goes, me too. And our other friend, Jen Myhoff, says, me too. And we all have almost the exact same memory of that concert.
It's true.
And so, Alaskans that were born and raised here, we have some really, I think, just common things that we just are so rooted. And it's like you can make a reference to something like, I never knew milk run was an Alaska term. I said to somebody in Pennsylvania one time, and they looked at me and they go, what? So there's certain Alaskan things, and when you meet a fellow Alaskan, you connect on a different level.
Yeah.
And then Kevin. Token man.
So I've been here 47 years, and I came up here for a 2-year visit. Kept staying, and because every time I'd leave, I was like, it's time to go back home. I love being in Alaska, the great friends that I've met, the opportunities that the state brings is it's good. It just, if you get tired of winter, wait a couple more weeks and spring will be here, right?
Yeah.
Don't go to
The
Hawaii.
days are getting longer every day.
Right.
And why I said yes is because I'm always wanting to look at different things to do. I've never done a podcast. I've never been on a camera show of any time that I can remember, except for when I think I was 5 and living in Cleveland. And I think there was a show called Bozo the Clown that my parents took me to.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
And ironically, he grew up down the street from somebody that we work with,
Oh, you're kidding.
Jane.
Showalter.
That's how small the world is.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, we went to high school together.
I know.
Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
Yes.
We proved our point.
Fun fact, I too was on TV for the first time, and not a lot after, at 5, because my grandmother was on the Theta Comstock show. Do you guys remember
I do.
Theta Comstock?
Yes.
Yes.
And she made me some pajamas, and I modeled them at just 5 years old because she was a seamstress, and they had this thing.
Yes.
It was really super cool. So all I remember, and I don't know how, April, you've been able to do media all these years. I remember distinctly just my body would turn because I was supposed to show off my grandma's
Yes.
abilities, and all I could do was look at that little camera on the floor.
That little light,
And it was very hard to keep my neck from breaking and turn around at the same time. So there was that early memory.
Now look at you. You're doing your own podcast. I mean, this is how it
Come
goes.
a long way.
Right.
No.
I wasn't calling you Bozo. I was.
At least not yet.
So hey, you little Chichaco.
My next.
You're the Chichaco. You tell us what brought you to Alaska, or what keeps you here. That's my question.
I tell people I came up kind of kicking and screaming, and then very quickly fell in love. I think what was very shocking, to be honest, was that Alaska reminded me more of home than home did anymore. My hometown was small, and it's not anymore. And Alaska has that that small town feel, right? So I fell in love with the people more than the lovely outdoors and all the amazing things that, of course, Alaska brings outside of that. And it was just, I didn't look back. I had no regrets, that's for sure.
Have you been able to let your family know that we're actually the biggest state?
Yeah.
Have you broke it to them?
I try not to hurt their feelings, but it's funny how many times people ask me the classic Alaska and Texas things, and it just, how the size from the weather, all those things back
Well,
home.
for the other people here, maybe some listening, we got to go to her hometown, and it was so fun. And we had the same feeling being welcomed into her home community. It was.
We loved the people. It was great.
It was so great.
The dance
So
hall,
we
one of my
agree
favorite
with
things
you.
ever, to see generations teaching generations to
rare.
dance.
Yep.
It's
It
rare.
was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I know. I feel like there's just that sense of not only having each other's back and that sense of community that you just don't get anymore. Definitely not in the lower 48, but in general, just my hometown has just grown too fast. So it was just like none of that is there anymore. And so I hold on to those precious things.
Yeah.
For sure.
Old soul.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, April, you're up. We got a pro at the table.
I don't know about that, but I'm happy to be here. So my time in Alaska has been fairly lengthy. Came back up in '93 and did radio and have been here since. But prior to that, we would come visit. I had family that was from here. My grandmother was born in Flat, which is right next to Iditarod. It was a gold mining town. It's now a ghost town. Her father was Russian, actually Georgian, and her mother was half Athabascan and half Danish. So there's a whole lot that came before I ever was around. And so there's a long history here in Alaska. So I feel like it's been my home all along. I grew up in the Seattle area for the most part. We lived here, we moved a lot. So, once when I was in second grade briefly and, went to Tudor Elementary and, went down the hill and all the things. But again, came back up in 93 and my family was here. I met friends, I started working, I got into radio, and it very much felt like this was the place. I loved to vacation, just got back from Cabo. I'm good to go, but this is home. This is where my friends are. This is where my family is. This is where it matters. And the feeling of the small town is here. And it's a half a degree of separation,
really is,
if one,
Right.
So there's always a connection. And if you just say the thing, you peel it back a little bit and you're like, oh my God, so-and-so, I know so that's part of the joy of living here. And then just, do I get tired of the dark and the winter and the shoveling and all that? Yes, but then comes spring, then comes summer, then comes the hiking and all the things.
Ferrandi, once we hit Ferrandi.
Exactly.
It's all downhill
Which
from
is
there.
coming
Spring's on.
very soon.
I cannot wait.
The 27th of February. So
excited.
Yeah, it's home.
It is.
It's home.
It is. And I actually love getting to know you. I feel like we are close acquaintances.
Yes.
What's one thing I wouldn't know about you?
Gosh. I feel like because I, talked on the radio for so many years, everybody knows everything.
No, I felt like I know you because your
But-
voice is so familiar.
Yeah.
During some really, you turn the radio on, and I
Right.
think even more so in Alaska and still
Yeah.
to stay connected.
Right.
And it's your voice I would hear. And so
Right.
I just sometimes forget that we've not spent one-on-one time.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say, let's see, what's something you don't know about me? I feel like I am a very boring person, but honestly, I don't know. I feel like I've said it all. Give me a moment and I'll think
I
of
will.
something.
I know you
So,
will.
yeah,
I know.
I-
and please blurt. This
Yes.
is a blurting safe space.
Oh,
So
I love
there
that.
you go. Isn't that nice?
That's how my family communicates.
That's-
We all
There's no
interrupt.
talking stick.
No, nobody has a stick. You all jump in. You say the thing. Yes. So, okay.
I would
will
say,
think-
I love that.
about how you cared for your mother.
Oh, yeah. So, and I feel like people know that know me, but I didn't share that widely. So my mom developed Alzheimer's, and I left the radio about the time that she needed full-time attention. She was still kind of doing some things and all of that, but so for 3.5 years full time, I took care of my mom at home. We had shared a home, and then a year when she was in the Pioneer home, and so that was something that for me, it was the natural thing to do, and I know for everyone it's not, and I've talked with so many people. I work at Alzheimer's Resource Alaska. Lisa and I work together. She's the CEO. I'm the development director now. But I learned how to care for my mom by taking the classes online. It was during COVID. And so I did that for a total of, I don't know, 4.5, 5 years or so.
My favorite story was one of the
But-
last times I came over and brought dinner, because I would bring dinner over every so often to
Yes.
her and her mom. And so the last time I came over with dinner, her mom, like we're halfway through dinner, mom
Yes.
gets up and goes, April, it's time for your friend to go
Yeah.
home. Like,
Like
I'm
we
the
were
12-year-old
12.
neighbor kid
Right?
that needs to go home. April, it's time for your friend to go home.
Exactly.
And April's like, okay, mom, we're just going to
Well,
finish dinner.
To be fair,
Yes.
my husband has felt that way. And I take you home in the same way. So I mean,
Well-
just to be fair.
Well,
let's,
you know, Lisa was, is
She's
a
amazing.
lovely friend and
She is.
was so lovely at that time. But that would be something I think maybe people, I think I shared it, but not to the degree.
Yeah.
So yes, that would be something.
Your circle knows,
Yeah, exactly. That would be something. Yeah, not quirky or kooky, but certainly significant. Yeah, yeah,
What's kept you here, Kevin?
People.
yeah.
Yeah, the friendships. That's one of the things that every time I leave, I do have some great friends that I've met in other parts of the country when I've traveled. But the relationships that I've built here, they'll go on forever. They'll go on forever. Yeah. And what I first did when I came here, I'd like to share that. I don't know that a lot of people know, but I came up here to survey oil wells where they actually end up. Many people don't understand that an oil well doesn't end up underneath where it starts. It may be 5 miles away in the earth. And it's a very complex process that you have to send complicated tools in the well and retrieve the data and plot out, of course, do a lot of math, which was pretty challenging. But it was very interesting to work on the North Slope when there was not much up there.
Yeah.
And to bring that technology forward. I was very lucky to be able to do that. And it's still a practice. It's used across the country, across the nation to check to make sure that the oil that a person is pulling out of the ground is in the leases that they paid for and not their neighbors.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, especially when some
I'm
of these
thinking a
wells.
landman here right now. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm
Doesn't
just
matter so
saying,
much in
see?
Alaska.
right?
Like,
But
It does.
Yeah,
I know,
but yeah,
it's
because I
kinda
guess who
like
has the lease on
Texas
what?
here, y'all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very important, especially when an oil well's producing 5,000-10,000 barrels a day, and even if somebody has the wrong lease for 6 months, it could be millions and millions of dollars.
Wow.
Sure. I hadn't thought of it from that perspective. See, look
Yeah.
at that. We're learning.
I know. I didn't know that either about you.
And are
That's
you
awesome.
still currently working?
I'm currently working.
Okay.
I'm not in that profession. I'm still
Yeah.
involved in the oil and gas process. I supply, my company supplies a lot of equipment to actually drill and complete oil wells.
Okay.
I got a compelling question. I had asked someone here on another podcast, what do you say when people challenge your loyalty to Alaska when you've done so much for Alaska? Similarly, in that vein, I would ask you, Kevin, how do you respond to people who, it's not about anti-drilling or anti-oil, when we are criticized as a community for, exploring, exploiting, I would say.
Resource
No, I think
development.
it's exploring. I don't
no,
think it's
I-
exploiting.
It's resource development.
No, what I
The-
would say
the
is
key
that
is-
what I was mentioning is that is the criticism that we get.
Oh.
I'm not saying we feel that way. I'm saying that
I
we
see.
get that criticism.
Yes.
What would you say to someone who criticizes what you've done for the last 20 or 30 years? And how do we feel about it as Alaskans?
A number of things have changed. The basics are still the same. It's all economics. The industry, when I started here, they were drilling a dozen or so wells from a pad. Let's say it's the size of this table, and it would draw resources from an area the size of this room. Now, we'll have a pad that's 1/3 the size of this table and draw resources that's the size of this entire building ground floor.
So the footprint.
The footprint,
Because
the
I'm
disturbance of the earth,
layperson, you know.
and the contamination that generally happens. There are accidents, unexpected, even with all the safety guidelines that are in place. But the average drilling site, the contamination that occurs in an annual basis is less than the average parking lot at a mall. Say Diamond Mall, you've got hundreds of cars that come in and out of there every day, thousands over the year. The contamination that goes into the sewer system of Anchorage from that mall in 1 year is greater than any drill site on the North Slope would ever think of
I think people know
contaminating.
that.
No.
So
they don't.
I
Once again,
say a little
it's
bit.
not knowing what you're talking about
Right.
in many instances. The other issue is electric cars. People don't want to know where that power comes from. That electricity is made, in most cases, from some kind of a hydrocarbon that's been developed as a gas or oil or coal,
Right.
probably 90% of it.
Not to mention the mining you need to build those electric cars.
And that's the other thing, the pollution that's created from mining all those high-end rare earth minerals will contaminate and create more CO2 than the average family car in 20 years.
And so just so everybody knows, and because you all said yes without any context whatsoever, number one, I'm very grateful. I hope you win the Banana Ice Classic.
I do need to
and
fill it out.
we are absolutely all going on a really great vacation if one of us does.
There we go. All
There
in.
you go. So we don't speak politics. We speak what is Alaska and what is commonly understood by long-term Alaskans who choose to be here, who could be, April, you could be in any market, because I feel like I've grown up listening to your voice, and that's because at a time when my babies were being born,
Right.
you know, and I'm driving them to daycare and having to go to school and
Right.
those types of things, and I had to go to work. I'm crying in the car, and it's your voice, you
Yeah.
know. So I just feel like I feel compelled to say thank you.
Thank you.
And that sounds like a funny thing, but why here?
So I came up on a fluke. You know, it was a time that I needed something different. And so when I arrived, I thought, I studied communications in college. I can do that. You know, I'm like in my early 20s. I was like, okay. And so I started selling advertising for one of the TV affiliates and went in for a job on the radio and started that. And then it developed, and that's where I found my home. And it was funny because the story goes, when I was 9 months old, I started to talk, and I never stopped. And so when I told people, hey, I'm getting paid for this, they're like, oh my God, of course you are, thank God. And I was like, well, you know. And so it became invigorating and learning and doing and being part of things. And then, you know, family here and learning to love Alaska even more. Friendships and attachments. And for broadcast, really the only way you make more money is to move up in markets. And so that was something, you know, it could have been, but I didn't want to leave Alaska. I loved having my family here. I loved having my friends. I loved knowing and doing and being part of things and volunteering for X committee and that committee and on this.
You've emceed or chaired about every event in town.
Everyone. Yeah. And so, you know, it became, you know, it was just, it was too much to leave.
Right.
So, you know, and now in my role now at ARA, it's a different aspect, but it's community still, right? So it's knowing who I need to call or who needs to be reached out to. So there are fewer people, but they mean so much here. So for me, that was why I didn't go chase the bigger market.
I've often explained to people, like,
yeah.
you know, we have some characters in town.
Yes.
You know,
oh,
and-
it's Alaska.
But it's so funny because it's a little bit like family. If I'm Lord of 48, or someone comes in and frankly says what a pain in the ass so-and-so is.
Right.
Yes, but there are a pain in the ass.
Right.
And I really appreciate that
Yes.
you quit speaking in that tone.
Right.
About, you know.
About whomever that is.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
you understand what they've done.
Yes, exactly.
And so Lisa and I tease about this all the time. I collect people.
Yes.
I'm an only child.
And so does she.
Raised an only child.
Yeah.
And for Brooke, she was a little creeped out by that at first.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're going to be fine.
It gets better, Brooke.
You're
Believe
gonna-
me.
Yeah, you're going to make the family wall. She made the family wall. So,
I got over it pretty quickly.
so how do you decide, Lisa, who to collect?
You know, it's interesting because I'm such an includer that I'm so open to any conversation with just about anybody.
Oh gosh, and you seek them out.
I do,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's a gift.
My favorite game used to be, you know, before airport lounges were a thing and I used to travel a lot, I'd look at the bar and say, who looks like the most interesting person at the bar that there's a seat open next to, and I'd sit next to him and strike a conversation, try and figure out that 1 degree of separation. And like literally probably 75-80% of the time you can figure something out. I still do that. I love to do that. It's literally like, you know, like it checks my boxes and it makes me happy. Like we were just in Hawaii and it's like literally like I'm standing in line at Costco waiting for a rotisserie chicken, start talking to a guy from Venezuela. And he goes, oh, I've heard these chickens are really good. I'll go, oh yeah, they're the best, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know, the best thing is they're the same price whether you're in Alaska, Hawaii, or, you know, Idaho, it doesn't really matter. He goes, yeah, I heard that. And I said, well, where are you from? He said, Venezuela. He said, where are you from? I said, Alaska. He goes, oh, my girlfriend's from Alaska.
Oh my goodness.
Right? I go, where in Alaska? Seldovia.
Oh my gosh.
A town of 421 people where my parents have owned a house since 1985. Now, I don't know her personally because she graduated probably about the time my parents bought the house. So I'm sure my parents knew her family. But I'm like, what are the odds? Literally, she was one of 400 people living in that town. And I run into her boyfriend at Costco in Honolulu.
That's crazy.
And I love that.
And you do that so
And
well.
that brings me joy and connection.
Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll talk about inclusion. This is a person that has added over 100 members to our local Moose Lodge, which is an unbelievable. Yeah.
Cheers.
Most of us will do 4 or 5 in a year or something like that.
Or a lifetime.
Yes. Yes. She is.
I believe in community and building community. And it's funny because when I moved back to Alaska, I was 21 years old, graduated from college. My parents had moved outside, but all my, aunties and uncles were still here, and they were all Moose Lodge members. My dad had been a member, and so I signed back up. So age 21, here I am, Women of the Moose. They're like looking at me like, who are you? And then circle back now, all these years later, gotten back involved with the lodge, and we have to really think about the impact that our fraternal organizations and our faith-based communities have on Alaska, and I think people forget that. They forget the impact that they have in the service. Not only just in dollars, but in terms of volunteer hours and what they give back to the community. Between, there's a lot of different fraternal organizations. There's so many amazing faith-based organizations, and they are kind of, really that core that holds so many things together, and they fill so many gaps in our community.
They're like community centers in some ways.
It is.
And
absolutely.
you get to choose the community center. It doesn't have to
Pick
be
what fits
forced.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And
whether you're a veteran, you can go to VFW, you can go to AMVETS, you can do all types of different things, but find a community, whether it's at the Pioneer Igloo, number 1, right down here.
Right.
Whatever it is, find your sense of community, because that helps you with your brain health, with your life, and will make you happier.
Well, and you've taught me a lot about Alzheimer's with regard to dementia and memory loss and some other things.
Socialization is a big thing. So we have to keep people connected. Yeah. And whether that's through your church, through a Rotary Club, through a Moose Lodge,
or some
whatever it is.
champagne and a podcast.
Well, there's that.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Okay,
April, give me a question, because you're the pro.
I'm curious as to how you arrived here. So we all sort of shared, but I didn't hear from you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm struggling on the inside. I've got a devil and an angel on the shoulders, and there's a particular family member that hates the way that I tell this story. I said that my name is Paula, and I think it says Impala, as in that's what my parents drove when I was conceived. So I have a theory. So you asked me, and I'm being literal, because usually that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I think it might have been a Spinard. So that's how I got here.
Okay.
And what keeps me here is my love and passion for my state. And it's the reason for this 1 degree of separation is to continue to mix Alaskans. When I was a kid, we were homesteaders and quite, as my husband says, I came from humble beginnings. Mm-hmm. And so we had a trailer, and we lived on 20 acres, and I had a snow machine and a horse, and then he bought an island out at Big Lake, and somebody was teasing me the other day, a mutual friend of all of us, who said, "You are the only person I know that can say in one sentence, well, I lived in a trailer, and every weekend we'd go to our island.
Right. Exactly. But that's
I
so
was
Only in Alaska.
Alaskan.
blessed
Yeah.
because my parents were
Yeah.
incredibly young.
Yeah.
And I had grandparents that were young enough that I had just a really close relationship with. And my dad was born here, and my grandmother was born and raised in Ketchikan.
Okay.
And so my great grandmother was raised in Alaska. I stuttered because I think my grandmother, when I finally pulled her, she passed away a few years ago. Her birth certificate was actually Montana. Because I think grandma was down there for a minute. So she
Yeah.
was technically born there.
But there's a big Montana-Alaska connection as well.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
And I think I just think it's ironic. And the
Yeah.
reason I stutter, we said this, Chris Palmatier was on the other day. And I said, isn't it funny? Because he wasn't born here. So I say, are you from Alaska? He goes, well, no, I'm not. Because I came here when I was 2. My husband came here when he was 6 months old. And we tease about it all the time.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
If it's not on your birth certificate, you ain't Alaskan.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
However.
we have to look at maybe what's your social security number.
There you
So
go.
maybe that's 574. Give a 574. We'll consider you from here.
That's exactly right. And we talked about that too. I got really angry a couple weeks ago because I had a spam call, and they have captured 907. So remember, you brought up Seinfeld, how the beginning prefix of your phone number meant
yeah.
something.
Yes.
Oh, don't you be messing with our
I
907?
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Brooke,
Yes.
Yeah.
what keeps you here? I mean, you had a lovely
Besides
description.
Paula keeping me busy.
Well,
No.
I mean, and that could be it as well.
no, I love
mean,
my job, and that definitely is a small little factor.
Yes.
But we keep coming back to people. Ironically, that's our company name and
Yes.
in itself. But I wanted to just touch on every example I feel like that you guys have shared. Like I've lived in such a exact way. I'm super close with my grandparents, for instance, and just grew up with both them 10 minutes away from myself as a kid, and they're like my best friends, as well as all of my first cousins. I always joked, I have 2 older brothers, but I always told people I had 12 siblings because I was like best friends with all my first cousins.
Right.
So, we would go to church, and I got to sit with all my cousins and my grandparents, and it just was, I took it for granted growing up. I definitely did. And then I went to Dallas, big city Dallas, for school, and I didn't realize how blessed I was whenever I learned that people don't even talk to their parents, alone enough talk to their first cousins on a weekly basis.
Or their neyghbor.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's quite sad. And so again,
I just want to know if you had to get a blood test before you went to prom to make sure you weren't related somehow. Because she's related to the entire town. Like, I just
my
I wanna know
parents
how that
maybe did.
works.
I didn't have to.
I was just wondering.
That's hilarious.
That's a question I wanted to ask you for a long time. I hope your
that's
dad's not
fair.
watching this. Hi, Dad.
No, both my parents, born and raised in my hometown, Pflugerville, and population went from 300 to 30,000.
Wow.
And literally 50,000 in less than a decade. So it was just, it grew like this, and my parents have truly seen it. I saw the back end of that growth as a kid, but they've truly seen it. And I mean, I grew up getting pulled over by cops that knew my that was taught and coached by my grandfather, or, going to the grocery store, you better at least look halfway decent because you're going to talk to at least 5 people. Yes, most of them might have been relatives because I'm related to half the town at that point in time. So yeah, it's just, I loved that, and it's not there anymore. And so when I came here, I just fell in love with that. Like literally going to any restaurant, or, going to the petroleum club, or going wherever, it just, you see people, and I crave that. Oh yeah, the moose for sure. Yes, I am.
Well, speaking of the Petroleum Club, it was just a few weeks ago that we were leaving the Petroleum Club, going to the Moose Lodge, and I looked up and I saw a trailer at the corner, and I said, Paula, does that look familiar? Is that the trailer you were in and then also owned an island when you were growing up?
Well, could have been.
It wasn't the same trailer.
Wait, is that
she
your
said.
horse in the back? Oh, no.
No, it's Wade.
I gotta love it. Yep.
Oh gosh, I love it up here. So, what do you do for fun, Lisa?
Well, I love to go to my place in Soldovia, which 2 out of 5 of you have been there. We'll fix that. My parents bought
fish.
Yes. Yep. And so my parents bought that house in '85. It's kind of funny. I graduated from high school and went to college in California. My parents moved back to Alaska. I'm like, is that a message? Like, are you trying to distance yourself from me?
I
What's
just want to
happening
know if you
here?
had a key when you got there.
Yeah, well, the house was usually never locked,
No,
so
okay,
it's still mostly. But don't tell anybody that. But no, I love it, and it was kind of one of those when my parents passed away. The good news was I inherited a house. The bad news was I inherited a house. It needed a ton of work. It's on pilings, but Soldovia to me, as soon as I literally either walk off the boat or land in an airplane and step on the ground there, I just breathe differently. I feel differently. It is so centering to me. And the people there are amazing. And if y'all have never been to Soldovia, you got to go check it out.
Yeah.
It is probably one of the most beautiful places in Alaska. It's accessible from almost anywhere here. And you got to go. It's truly super special. So I fought to
Text
keep.
me, I'll give you her number.
Yeah, I have
Sign me up on the next trip.
I have fought to keep the house alive because
Yeah.
it means so much to me and to my kids, and it's not been easy. And I mean, I work for a nonprofit. I mean, I don't make enough money to afford that type of a vacation home, so to speak, that I go
Right.
to 4 or 5 times a year. But it's so important to me for those roots and the community that it's a priority for me. And I love that. And, I used to work in tourism 100,000 years ago. And I'm telling you, if you want to go to authentic Alaska, I think there, Talkeetna depends on the time of year, but those are some of the places that go and to me are truly grounding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Homer. I mean, everybody loves Homer.
Yeah.
But you get across
You
the
can
bay.
do Homer and
you
pop
get-
over
but
to
yeah, you get
Soldovia.
across the bay and it's just a different world.
It sure is.
And go to Linwood.
We're going to keep it clean here. So we were going through COVID pictures. And anyway, that's another story for another podcast.
We get a whole
so you know.
Oh my gosh.
COVID quarantine podcast.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
for more.
The late night podcast.
I just thought I'd go through all my old photos and
Yeah.
make sure that, gosh, if I died tomorrow, what
What? Who would see what?
Yep, right.
Yeah.
So I used to be worried about grandma finding things out. Now I'm worried about my grandkids. So it's weird how things just change so quickly. Anyway, so Kevin, how do you choose your friends? What do you do for fun?
I choose my friends with my heart, and I've got a lot of great friends.
Oh, man,
Great
good.
Be
friends.
a smart ass, and here you are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do I do for fun? A lot of the normal Alaskan things. I hunt, I fish, I four-wheel, not so much snow machining and skiing anymore, but mostly outdoor sports.
A particular
Tough time of
horse?
year for this time of year.
Yeah.
It's sort of that
And
between seasons.
you're a hunkle.
Yeah, you
Oh.
Yes.
You are a uncle.
Oh.
Did you know?
I didn't know.
didn't know? You didn't know I was a hunkle?
Give us.
You know.
You don't know.
Can I get out pictures?
No phone.
So about a year ago, a few of these folks were on a mission to listen to some great music in Minneapolis. And one of them called and said, I need somebody to go check on my horse. Would you do that? And
Yes,
I
who
said,
could
well,
that
of
have
course.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Of course, it's a horse. Of course.
And so I got the directions to where the horse was at and boarded, and I got some carrots, and I went down and introduced myself to Odelia. And she's been a great part of my life ever since. She's a young Percheron and 18 months
Yep.
old.
Yep.
A lot of character, and I get spoiled. I mean, it's about 10 minutes from my house to go see her, and it's a long haul for Paula to go see. Oh,
Yes.
I'm not supposed to say that. am I?
no.
Who
sorry.
owns
Whose
your
horse?
Oh,
So that's how you made a friend.
yes. And so I'm a horse uncle,
Yes.
which is just perfect. I can go visit, I can spoil the horse, and I can say, see ya.
Bye.
You don't have to pay the stable bills.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, being an aunt or an uncle is a great thing. Yes.
And she has gotten so big so quick.
Oh, yeah.
And she doesn't know she's big. So she's equivalent to a really large dog that grows
Way
faster
bigger.
than
How many hands is she now?
manners.
Oh, right.
15 and a half.
All right,
Yep.
she's getting up there. She's
Probably
going to get bigger.
Oh, yes, she is.
700 pounds.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
Bring more carrots.
I do. Yeah. I buy them by the bushel.
Wow. That's a lot. Yeah.
So Lisa and I went down to Brooke's house in Texas, and I said, "Hey, can we scout for a place? Because I've got a horse, and this looks like a nice little retirement vacation home.
Yes.
Like they wouldn't even know we were here. They have enough land, and they have these older homes that no one's inhabiting at the moment." And I said,
But
"Shall we?"
Bring Odelia.
Adelia is still here, however,
I know.
but
We'll get her trained.
Yeah,
first.
we sent her out to feed the cows. That was fun.
Yes.
But the important thing to remember,
I thought
Odelia is
cows
going to need a
liked
special
apples, all right?
trailer.
Maybe we should tell
she's
the
a
audience
special
that
treat.
Yeah.
cows do not like apples.
Yeah, so she's out there throwing apples at the cows. And I'm like, yeah,
They were running.
Oh, yeah, you were throwing apples, Paula. Oh,
Okay, it was my birthday. I wanted to go to Pflugerville. I wanted to go to the.
and throw some apples.
Well,
wanted to feed the
I
cows.
didn't want to break her heart, so I just let
so
her
you
do
were
it.
just throw the
Like,
apples.
yep,
just let
keep
her do
throwing
it.
them out there.
You guys are mean.
and then she went to her family and told them at church.
Oh,
Yeah, that
and
was
all
amazing.
100 of them were
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
exactly.
Paula.
Paula, it's not a cow. I mean, it's not a
Not a
horse.
horse.
Yeah,
I don't eat
yeah.
apples.
Yes.
I wouldn't have known the difference.
Whatever.
Just cute.
I would not
Just
have known.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. We went. I took her. She said that her dream, in response to mine, was to go fishing, to see some eagles, see
Grizzly
a
bear
bear,
Oh.
in the
and catch a
wild.
fish.
Yes.
Fish.
Oh,
And
Those are good goals.
We had such a busy summer, and she's commuting, and we just one thing led to another. We went in late October, and we went and
Wasn't
floated.
warm.
It was not warm. She didn't say I wanted to go out in the warm air.
No,
she never
let
said that.
me be
just
that
said,
clear.
I
I
want
signed
to-
up,
Just had
and I knew
destinations in
exactly
mind.
what I was signing up
Yes.
for.
Yeah. So she gets in the boat, and no sooner had we pushed off, I caught a fish.
I mean, it
and
could
I
have been
said-
30 seconds.
I said, hey, Brooke, hey. And it was a big year, so it was a big trout.
Yeah.
So
Rainbow
for
trout, yeah.
anyone that's outside of Alaska, this year was a really good red salmon year,
Yes.
which means there's lots of eggs, which is what trout eat. And so by October,
They're
Big.
fatty.
they're feeling really good,
Yes.
right? So I was trying to, it was wider than it was long. And then I said, Brooke, we have a fish. And she said, no, there's an eagle. And so we looked
focused
up,
on the bald
and-
eagle
and it
right
was
there.
swooping down because I had the fish.
Right.
And then my husband's doing a drift boat, so
Right.
he's like, could you guys give me just a second to get off the beach? And then we got off the beach, and it was not 3 minutes later.
Not.
There were two grizzlies on the
Oh,
Kenai, which doesn't
Literally
always
right
happen. They
on
were
the,
black bear.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
right on the river.
Eating some
So
salmon
did you
off
just
the.
pack up and go home then?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
literally, I said, we hack.
Check.
And that's how we do
no,
things.
my
Like,
competitive self wanted to at least catch one for myself.
Oh, okay.
A fish.
okay.
So that's the next 3 hours was me just
And
trying to.
did you catch one?
Did I?
well, here's yes.
Okay.
Because first of all,
I did.
what's
Did I get it in the boat?
Oh, well, that's a technicality.
Well, what I really love is she's quite an expert golfer. And what has always impressed me is she can outdrive the men on the driving range. I mean, she's just sort of a badass. And she keeps it clean. I was shocked. I had never seen somebody really good at golf that doesn't, or heard, I should say, no profanity. She lost that fish. You mother.
I was so angry. Well, because I hooked it, right? And I got it so
and
close.
you were like almost
So close. I mean,
there.
it was
This is our
like 3 feet from the
This is
boat.
our southern belle.
Right. I
was
And
so
I
angry.
kept looking
Oh,
around
that's very southern.
Oh,
Yeah, I was very angry.
That's
I was
southern.
so upset.
yeah, it was so funny.
And then I was so determined after I was that close that I just was fighting for every, yeah. It was
And
fun.
now
It was a
you're
blast.
here. And now you're here.
Yes.
That's right.
Until you're back in Texas on and off.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, but
That's
I tell people I've never had a bucket list. I've never been one that's that adventurous until I moved to Alaska. And this lovely lady sent me all over for work and visiting clients and fun projects all over Alaska, from Kenai to Cordova to Fairbanks
Allen.
to Glen Allen.
Glen Allen.
Glen
Yes.
Allen in February.
Oh,
Yes.
that
I
is
should
not
say.
nice. Wow.
I mean, snow was up to
it's-
my hips.
It's good. I'm sorry.
It's a character builder.
It
Yeah,
is.
Hey, this
Yeah.
is our mentorship. We're here to mentor.
I
young
take that
Alaskan.
back.
Yeah.
You say that, but I called her the day, I guess the second day I was there, and I said, do I have to come back to Anchorage?
No, she
I want
loved
to
it.
stay an
Wow.
extra night.
That's
Because they put
great.
me in, they took, our client took really
Yeah.
good care of me and put me
There
in
are
a cute
lovely
little
people in
B&B,
Glen
and I
Allen.
was
My
like,
aunt lived there.
I don't want to leave. I'm like,
Yeah.
I got warm water, a bed to sleep in. I'm good.
These are good
And food.
things.
Yeah, that's all I need.
These are good
Yeah,
things.
so it's really good.
No,
Yes.
I definitely been really enjoyed exploring, and I'd say all that. I don't have a bucket list. I'm not very adventurous until I moved to Alaska, and I literally created just an Alaskan bucket list. That's the only
Perfect.
bucket list I have.
That's all you
from
need.
That's all you need.
seeing the Northern Lights, check that off. Seeing grizzly bears in the wild, check that off. Fishing. I only have like 1 or 2 more on that. It's a pretty long list.
What's left?
Deep sea fishing. Or
Okay.
is that what
I
you
can't
call it?
help
What do
you
you
with
call
that.
it?
Like halibut
Offshore.
fishing?
Yeah, halibut
Yeah.
fishing.
Oh, I mean, I can get you
I want Eric to
charter.
take me out. I want to do not fly fishing.
Okay.
I honestly think that's the last thing left.
Wow.
Wow,
You're close.
that's
On
easy.
my list.
That's easy peasy.
Yeah.
And go to Seldovia. There's a few
There you go.
places.
All right, I
There's
can
got
fix
the
that one.
connection. I know the connection
Yes.
for that
Okay.
one.
We're making
We got 4
Yeah.
what I consider lifelong because we've lived a couple of lives. Because I feel like when you've lived here for 10 years, it's more like 20 in experiences.
Yeah.
So each one of you, if you had it to do one mentorship moment as a youth in Alaska, I call her a youth, but she's a grown ass woman, I know. But what advice would you give her? What should she
See
do?
Arctic Man.
Oh yeah. Oh
Man,
yeah.
there you go.
That's the name of it.
That's what we
one
could remember.
were
Trying
trying
to
to
think of it. Yeah.
We were like,
Yes.
it's Iron Man. You know, it's something
Yeah.
man.
Yes.
We know
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Arctic Man, the 3rd largest community in Alaska for 5 days in the
It's
spring.
It's crazy.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I've not
Yeah.
seen
See how
that
they have
either.
like Burning Man and that stuff
Yeah,
with the
Yeah,
stuff?
it's
No, I
Burning
would
Man of
see
the
that,
North.
but
But it's of the north. It's a whole
It's going on
different thing.
currently though.
No, it just ended. I think it just ended.
So I'll go with you next
No,
year.
it's,
All right.
no, it's
There's
next
always
month.
next year.
I don't
And then
know.
we'll-
Oh,
Probably.
is it? Oh, I'm wrong.
Oh, I don't
She
know.
knows,
It's-
'cause
it's
usually
in
Eric
April.
comes up with that. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, there's hope.
There is.
Yeah,
there
oh,
is.
yeah.
Put it on the calendar.
There you
all
go.
right.
And I would say yes. Whenever an Alaskan, especially when you're working in remote communities, somebody invites you to their
Yes.
house for dinner, says, "Do you want to go for a ride on my quad? Do you want to go for a ride in my boat?"
Yeah.
Say
Say
yes.
I'm good at that.
have given her, and I have been walking out of the office, and it took her 4 or 5 times to realize that I would call her, "What are you doing?" And I was driving by, and I could see her through the office window, and it's late at night. Oh, she goes, "Oh, I'm at the gym." Really? Oh no, I can't lie to you. I just had one more thing to do at work. I said, "You don't work in Alaska to be behind a desk."
Right.
So that's my word of advice. That
Yeah.
she hears it as nagging. I don't know,
But it's,
whatever.
No, I
but it
know.
is good. I mean,
I feel like I'm getting better.
You're ish.
Yeah.
Ish. I have
And
my
also ish is a word. Like, hey, we're gonna do a podcast ish.
this has been very
four-ish.
ish.
Very
And
ish.
lovely.
Hey,
Yes.
words of advice for her.
Besides the
Arctic
Arctic Man,
Arctic Man. Yeah.
Anything else?
enjoy every day the best you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it your best day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate
How about
that.
you?
I like the say yes. That was something that for me was.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
I know you are. You're like
Things like that. We're all here. Yeah.
yes,
right.
I will do this.
And what are we doing?
And what are we doing again?
Well, we won't speak of our other friend that
Right.
said
Who said no?
no.
Hey, Kurt. How are you?
Yeah, I'm glad you're
The
holding
mayor
on
of
for
the
us.
park strip.
That's right. He's the mayor of the park strip.
He is. Oh my God. He's never going to forgive you, but I love that. So I would just echo that as well. Be open,
Yeah.
and know your boundaries so that when you say yes, it means yes. It's not just an obligation. It isn't just because I'm doing something. I'm not, It's because you want to. And it sounds like you already are doing that. So
No,
that's
thank
just,
you.
yeah. I mean, it's and
good.
not to put you on the spot just because you're back and forth from Texas, but we are.
Yeah.
And I think we all need to kind of remember that. Say yes.
I took her to Riley's on Fire
Oh.
Week, and we
my
got
gosh.
a corner table, and
Yes.
how they have all the license plates.
Yes.
We sat down, and
Oh, there's one that says Brooke.
there's one that says Brooke, and next to one that
It gets
her
better.
grandma's name and her mom's name
Oh,
is up in the
stop
corner.
it.
Literally me,
Oh wow!
yeah, right
The whole
next to each
family
other.
was there, huh?
Wow.
And there's not that many license plates. They're not all over, but they're scattered. There's there's maybe like 20 to 30.
Right.
And 3 of them are it's literally my mom, and her father. So like,
Wow.
I
That's so
knew I was
great.
meant to
You're like,
be
I
here,
meant to
you
be
know?
here and
It really
drink.
was.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeannie. We love you.
Yes.
Yeah, Riley's is my place.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh my
and then I had
gosh.
to, that's where she learned the term Chachaco. I said, this is used to
'Cause it
be
used to
the
be
Chachaco.
Chachaco.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
for years.
And so
For
then we had to
decades,
talk. I said,
yeah.
get your phone out.
Yep,
Google
here's
it.
what you
It's a
do.
real. And she said, that's not a real word.
Oh, yes, it
is.
is.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So I think when she's done with her bucket list, we can retire Chachaco. That's what it's going to
Aw,
take. So you have to
yay.
say yes enough to
If you
get
go to
rid of it.
Soldovia
Yeah.
and go halibut fishing, we can do both of those things in one
one
weekend.
trip.
Yes.
Do it.
Done.
Yay.
That's right. That's right.
No,
Well, I'm going to win this Nanana Ice Classic. I'm just
Okay.
going to
Yeah.
say I've never entered.
You've never entered?
No.
You're what in the
What?
world?
Oh. Wow.
Even Brooke has entered.
Oh.
I think I was gonna say, I think I have.
Bye, y'all.
We're all like,
Is this like fade to black?
I know. Yes, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Upper One has been so good to me. And
Yes.
that gentleman right over there refused for me to buy him a drink the last time I saw him. So I bought you a ticket as well.
Oh, excellent.
So just so you know.
yes, and cheers to the upper one. They've
That's
been
right. They've been
amazing.
awesome.
Yes.
They've
Super
been awesome.
flexible.
And they were,
Yep.
so wonderful.
Oh, by the way, we
adapting.
don't have one person today. It's going to be.
We have
Or
4
two.
more.
Yeah.
There's 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yep. Yep. And it is because we were at a corner table and I said, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Let's go.
Yep. And my prompt friends kept saying, you're going to be late.
Yes. And everyone said yes.
And everybody said yes. What is it we're doing?
I think
again?
that's the moral
yes.
of today,
Yes.
right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Say yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, look into the camera.
Say yes.
Look at you. Okay,
I know, she's a
April,
natural.
You're completely an expert. What's the question I should have asked?
Oh. I think, how long have you lived here? I mean, that's very boring.
I think the weirdest
Well, I
thing you've
started
ever
with that.
I think the
Right.
weirdest thing you've ever done in Alaska.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, so I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know if we
that's
should all
legit.
share. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
I was just gonna say, is that
That you can-
worthy?
that you can say
But,
on air.
I mean,
No.
it was very basic, but it's.
I know my
think you
Rolodex
did
is
a
now
lot.
flipping. You know how
I know.
I've
She
had
did
some
Her
fun
restorative
things.
is wanting to,
Yeah.
yeah.
She
I've had
is.
some
Yeah,
fun
I'm telling you.
I know.
things.
That's a good question.
Or the most off-beaten path. Like,
Maybe-
what's the most, like, extreme experience?
Okay,
Or,
extreme, not weird.
okay, yeah. Okay, let's
Way
rephrase that.
different.
Extreme.
And why are you looking
Extreme.
at me in that comment?
I'm sorry, because you were like, I said how long I've been here.
Okay, the most extreme thing you've done in Alaska.
Okay.
Or anywhere. It doesn't have to even be in Alaska.
I rafted 6 Mile. I rappelled down the JL Tower a couple times.
Oh, I forgot. That's
Yeah, remember that fundraiser?
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, and there's more, but I'll just leave it there. So how about you?
I want to do those things. I'm adding them to my list. I don't know. The coolest thing I love wildlife in general, being raised on a ranch back in Texas. And so I loved going whale watching and just seeing sea otters in Cordova or just anything related to like wildlife.
I almost wrecked the car.
I literally go crazy for it.
And in Cordova, I said I almost wrecked the car because she's.
Okay. I thought they were logs. Okay, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of logs that are floating around in the water. And I was during like mating season or whatever, the season where there's, hundreds.
Oh.
And so I was like,
That's called a raft.
I just was confused why there was logs.
Why are there
in
so many
And then
logs?
and then we got closer and closer, and then I realized they were moving. I didn't have my glasses on, so I
Right.
couldn't tell what it was. And she's like, "There's sea otters," and I was like, "Oh!" I
that's where she
screamed,
screamed.
and she like almost wrecked the car, and
That's awesome.
so that's
great.
That's
yeah.
great. And Paula, how about you?
I will see the Rolodex. See,
Oh,
keep
it's-
clean.
oh,
I'm not
extreme,
an expert. I
extreme.
haven't been on. I'm still back on weird. I haven't gotten past weird.
Okay.
So I.
It's okay.
We'll come back
So
around.
it's not weird.
Aw.
It's
Can
a
be extreme.
fantastic trip.
Yeah.
Spring bear hunting in the mountains of Alaska on a fly-in
Wow.
ski plane up behind Judd Lake
Nice.
for 10 days.
Oh, 10 days. That's
Yeah.
a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How many bears did you get?
It was a great trip. Had a lot of fun.
That's the best answer ever.
My daughter says
So-
that's hiking with guns. That's what
yeah.
So I guess to your question, We had spotted a bear. We'd watched it for 3 days. Then we got weathered into the tent for 3 days. 3 men in a tent for 3 days.
That's bad.
Man, that was tough. We went out the next morning. We got halfway from camp to the site where we had the bear had been denned up and was coming out. And we had opportunities to shoot the bear earlier, but none of us was willing to go back in the den if it got it back into the den, because it was only like 15 feet outside the opening of the den.
That's not a lot of room.
No. So we just had to keep waiting. So we went back, and we got about halfway there, and we heard a gunshot.
Oh no!
So it was a good bear. Somebody else got it though.
Oh no!
Yeah, he'd gotten far enough away from the den. So
Even in remote Alaska, there's other Alaskans
There
out there doing
are,
the same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I would
That's a
say
good
for,
story.
for me, it's probably not the most extreme, but one of my favorite memories was with my dad. So he would fly a Super Cub when I was little. I joke, when I was really little, I sat on a 5-gallon pail in the tail of the Super Cub, and if it got really turbulent, he somehow bungee corded me to the 5-gallon pail. But if my mom didn't go, I got to sit in the seat behind him. And so one of our favorite things to do was go razor clam digging. And so we'd fly over the sandbars, and he'd let me pick, like we'd fly and get, Super Cub, and he'd let me pick which bar to land on. And then we'd go dig razor clams. The problem is it's super fun to dig razor clams. It is not so much fun to clean them all. So yeah, it's like, but
did your mom do that?
no.
Sorry.
You've met my mother.
I did. I was just trying for a little levity.
Yeah, no, my dad and I would sit there for hours cleaning razor clams afterwards.
Oh my gosh,
But
yeah.
Okay,
a lot.
Lisa, what question should I have asked?
I don't know. What's your North Star?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
My family and my friends.
In Alaska, it intermingles.
It does, and friends or family I choose, and I think that's something that all Alaskans that have been here relate to. That's part of it. That's why I'm here. That's that's it. North Star.
I know. I might need some time to think
Okay,
about this.
well,
and
we
not
can move
pass.
on.
Yeah.
Well, I'll jump in there. I just once again, it comes back to friends and family. The extended family in Alaska has been very important, because none of my full blood family, except for my immediate family, moved to or lives in Alaska. Everybody else lives in Ohio and Texas and Costa Rica and Michigan, and sort of scattered all over the place. But yeah.
Well, there's so many of our friends that are starting to snowbird and do those kind of things, and it's nice to go get sunshine. I love Hawaii. It's 5.5 hours or 6 hours.
Cabo was great.
There.
I mean,
I love all those things, but I can't imagine living anywhere else.
No.
And there's only that's the criteria for inviting people here.
Yeah.
Are the people who really honestly choose to be here that could be anywhere else. Why aren't you living somewhere else?
Right.
And so I love that you guys joined the fun. And you tell me your North Star.
I think it's the impact you can have. In Alaska, we have the ability to know our congressional delegation to have impact at not only a federal, but a state and local level. Your voice is heard here. And if you choose to get involved, whatever your politics, it doesn't matter. If you have a voice, and it will be heard.
Yeah.
And I think that's really unusual. I mean, I don't know many other states that you have that kind of access.
you see them at the grocery store.
Yeah.
They're at a gala. They're at a luncheon. Yeah.
You see them all the time. And I think we're super fortunate that Alaskans, we punch above our weight class.
That's a nice way to put it. That's really nice. I said that we have a certain level of passive resistance. So, and I explain this to Brooke all the time, that we have generations of people who have come to Alaska and taken what they want and only the parts that they want, and they go home. And I've resented that philosophy for many, many, many years. We're still friendly to them. We're very nice, but there is a core group of Alaskans that I think run the entire state. And it's the people that are just most committed to the 12-month year.
Yeah.
And whether they're going in and out of the state or not, it's the mentality is for the long haul.
Yeah, what's best for Alaska?
That's right.
Overall, what's best for Alaska? And that involves, government, involves nonprofits. It's everything. You have to have a good education system. We've got a lot of work to do.
And there's some good people here around the table and good ideas for sure.
I was going to say opportunities, to be honest, was going to be my North Star. I think, I know Paula keeps calling me a youngin', so I guess I'll just call myself a youngin'.
Just own it.
Just own it and enjoy it while you can.
That's right.
It
No, I
doesn't
will.
last
There
forever.
are
There is. No, I just think at my age, the opportunities that I've had and the people that I've been able to work with closely and interact with and the organizations, I mean, it's just, I couldn't have done that in the lower 48. And so I'm so grateful for those opportunities. I'm beyond grateful. And just how welcoming, for the most part, everyone was. I think there's some skepticism a little bit when they look at not only a youngin', a Texan, and all these things, but I appreciate that for the most part, everyone has just been very, very welcoming. So I'm grateful for that.
That's good.
Well, we love those who love Alaska.
Yeah,
we do.
Exactly.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
That's the truth.
And I think I respect the frustration, when people coming up and they just don't appreciate or things like that. In my hometown, I told you how fast it grew. There's people that are coming here and just, even, again, we're not talking politics here, but even coming in and, so Pflugerville, my hometown, I am actually a Pfluger by blood and relation. And so I have seen people come in and just take away all the culture, the German culture, the traditions, all these things that my hometown used to have. And so that's why it resonates with me, and I truly appreciate and don't want to come in and do exactly what other people have done to my hometown. And so I don't think people even understand that to a degree, and I don't vocalize that, but I just think the passion that I have for Alaska because of the passion that I had growing up, I'm hoping people see that. And
It makes you bilingual.
yeah, exactly. exactly.
That's right.
Anyways, gotta love.
We all
just
speak
the-
Polynesian.
That's right.
That too.
Yeah.
Polynesian.
Is that what you call it? No, you
That's
call it.
P-A,
Yeah.
not P-O.
Okay.
Yeah.
P-A.
I'm right here. I'm right here. I can hear you.
Right.
Oh. All right. Well,
All right.
one last toast.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting us.
you.
And
Thank you,
Always.
always.
Friday
And thanks
afternoon.
Eddie P for the delivery.
And
thank you,
Eddie
Eddie P. Shout out to Eddie P.
Superhero
Number
to the rescue.
one.
Number
And
one.
cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Cheers,
all.
Alaska.